Hi everyone, hope you have an amazing day. This is FC with CappersDirect.com, here to talk to you guys and give you guys your first look preview for this upcoming UFC Vegas 69 event that's happening on February 18th from Vegas. We're looking at Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield because Talia Santos had to pull out really recently, but we're going to go into that fight. But before we do that, let's get into your quick recap about what happened this past UFC event, UFC 284. Humongous event, guys. We had a small win on the card, and then we had a humongous win on the max fight pick. Again, looking at the card, small win. It really came down to the fight pick. We ended up going with Jimmy Crute. The reason why we went with Jimmy Crute is because he actually showed me something this camp that for the first time in a long time, I was like, he's ready. He's going to be ready for this. He was grappling way more in camp. His cardio was on point, and I think we saw that. It just so happened that Alonzo Menifield touched him up heavily in one of the rounds. I think like in the second round or something, touched him up heavily, almost knocked him out in the first round. But when you look at that fight, we had a point deduction taken away from Alonzo Menifield. I almost put that in the write-up that I thought, hey, man, maybe a point deduction could happen. You have to sort of look at that when you have a striker versus grappler. Especially if the striker has a history of like just grabbing the fence a couple times and you know that the grappler has a chance of getting it to the ground. And we saw that. A point was taken away from Alonzo Menifield. Jimmy took him down and dominated him in the third. If you look at the second, yeah, Jimmy got touched up, but Alonzo got rocked. Also, Alonzo got taken down. So the way I look at it, I know there were some clients that were like, man, we got lucky. And I could see how some people are like, yeah, we got lucky with a draw there on the fight pick, but I honestly thought Jimmy Crute ended up doing really well. Jimmy Crute's a guy who would have got knocked out in the first round with the Jimmy Crute of old. He came out and showed me something. He did everything that I thought he was going to do. I just thought Alonzo would wear out a little bit faster. And if you saw in the second round, Alonzo was worn out. Look, it ended up being a draw. All the other fights on the card ended up being nice enough to where we got a small win, but then the max fight pick came up, guys. And I told you guys in the video, we got something on this fight. I just left it at that. But if you didn't know, now you know. If you read the write-up, you know. We were on Yair Rodriguez, my boy, a good friend of mine. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I was extraordinarily nervous coming into this max fight pick, but I was really, really confident. I mean, I was so confident that had this not been the max fight pick, Yair would have been a top fight pick, and then the under 4.5 would have been a top fight pick as well. Yair would have been like a 4-unit top fight pick, and then the under 4.5 would have been like a 3-unit max fight pick, but I couldn't pass up on everything I had seen from Yair. There were a lot of issues coming into both camps. It wasn't perfect for either guy. And I said that in the write-up. It's not perfect. It's not like we have one perfect guy and one guy who's just not it coming in here. It's two guys coming in with imperfect issues going on. But we knew that the imperfect issues on the Emmett side were going to be a lot bigger. But Emmett still had a chance, right? He still had that knockout chance. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never seen Yair Rodriguez rocked. I've seen a crazy amount of footage. I've seen him live. I've seen him spar. In training, he doesn't normally get hit. It's not like they go all out like that. But even when they do hard spar, Yair's just not a guy who gets hit. He uses his kicks a lot. We knew that coming in. We knew he'd probably get hit. Guys, for the first time ever, Yair Rodriguez was rocked. He was doing a stinky leg for a second there. I was crazy. I was like, corre, run. What are you doing, Yair? What are you doing? Run, kick. What are you doing? The game plan. Don't sit. I was going all over the place. But in the end, what happened? I said it in the write-up. I gave you guys. I said, look, Yair Rodriguez is going to win this fight. Max fight pick. And then I said, I also like the under 4.5 and Yair Rodriguez inside the distance. I hit all those up. I hope all you guys hit it up. But we had a successful event overall. Again, the UFC card, small win. But then that max fight pick came up and it was a choke submission win, easy. And then you had all the extra picks in the max fight pick as well. It just made for an overall good Saturday night. But enough of that. Let's get into your main card and your main event preview right now. All right, so let's get into your main event preview. Guys, this one got put together last minute. We have Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield. Let's look at the Erin Blanchfield side since we were working on her side already. The girl is 23 years old. She's got a lot of upside. Let's just be honest, right? Looking at this fight, we had Erin Blanchfield that was coming in here against Talia Santos. Santos just fought for the title and did really well against Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of people believe that Talia Santos won that fight. It's very, very close. I give it to the champ at that time. But it was really, really close. And you could sort of see Erin Blanchfield has been doing her little rise to the top, right? So the UFC's like, all right, Erin, like we're going to put you in the main event versus the girl that just fought for the title, right? Show us. Two great prospects going up against each other, but Taila Santos had to pull out. So in steps in Jessica Andrade. But again, you can sort of see what the UFC was doing with Erin Blanchfield. They were setting her up to see, can she be a future champion? Is the time right now for her to be a champion? And then looking at Jessica Andrade stepping in, I mean, Jessica Andrade comes in with a ton of experience. We're talking about Erin Blanchfield, 23 years old, Jessica Andrade, 31. Ton of fights under Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade fights the best of the best and usually does really well when she fights girls like this. But Erin Blanchfield, she's a BJJ standout, has really good takedowns, but we have seen her struggle taking down people that were ready for that style. Man, Erin Blanchfield just beat Molly McCann, but when you're looking at it, Erin Blanchfield, there's a ton of questions. Is this girl ready? The UFC thought like she could have been ready, so let's put her up against someone that just fought for the title, and if she beats her, hey, potentially a title fight for Erin Blanchfield at 23? Maybe there was going to be one more fight. But man, when Jessica Andrade steps in, you're talking about a crazy jump up in competition. From Taila Santos to Jessica Andrade, all the information on Jessica Andrade is out there, but it's a crazy jump. But the UFC sort of saying, okay, look, it is a crazy jump. But Jessica Andrade just fought 3 weeks ago. The girl just cut weight. She's not coming in here. They just let her know about this like last week. They asked her like, hey, look, this makes sense. Former champ, step up. And in messaging Jessica Andrade, she's like, yeah, I can beat this girl. I know I can. I can beat this girl without a training camp. It's fine. And I just had a training camp. It's better than fine. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be fine. So let's look at the Jessica Andrade side. The girl's 31 years old. She's going to be smaller. She's used to being smaller. She's used to having the smaller reach and fighting within that realm. She knows how to fight within that realm well, right? Looking at it, I mean, again, she only loses to the best of the best. We're looking at Valentina Shevchenko, Wei Li. Wei Li knocked her out in China. That was a crazy fight. And then Rose Namajunas, which we know she ended up getting that back with a humongous slam. But she's only losing to the best of the best. But it's a limited camp for her. She just found out about this last week. She just fought 3 weeks ago again. I mean, guys, it's going to be wild. The crazy part about this whole thing is Erin Blanchfield was setting herself up to be champion. She's excited for this next fight. She has not, some things have changed from her game plan, but in her mind, not a lot of things have to change. She just has to go out there and be herself and fight to the best of her abilities. And she's taking this as like a challenge. She expects to win, but she's like, this is a challenge. I know this is going to be a huge challenge. This is a crazy amount of experience coming in, but I feel good. She only has... She fought 3 weeks ago. She only has a week's notice. So what's the best time for Erin Blanchfield to ever fight Jessica Andrade? Probably now. Now would probably be the best time. So it's a great main event. I would have preferred to see Taila Santos fight Erin Blanchfield because at that point, I think we'd be able to see what Erin Blanchfield has. This fight, potentially, if it were full camps on both sides, and it was just these two fighters, full camps, it'd be Jessica Andrade all day. I mean, it just would. If she had a full camp preparing for Erin Blanchfield, preparing for takedowns, knowing what she has to do to win that fight, it'd be Jessica Andrade all day. It would. She's just that good. But when you look at Jessica Andrade, she just fought 3 weeks ago. 1 week's notice. All those things make that look not as pretty. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is a show me spot for Erin Blanchfield. It was already going to be a show me spot for her. She's looking to step up. We need to find out more information about Jessica Andrade. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to for this. I don't just go based off of like, oh, willy-nilly, like, oh, yeah, this fighter has experience. This fighter doesn't. I'm going to go with the experienced fighter. That's not what we do here. We make sure we gather all the information possible. So on Friday, when I give you guys the write-ups, you're going to want to tune in to see exactly the game plan of Jessica Andrade, the game plan of Erin Blanchfield. Did anything change? Friday, I'm going to let you guys know. But as of right now, I do like the Jessica Andrade side. I just looking at at everything she brings to the table, and then having spoken with her recently, less than a month ago, and with her mindset mentality, the girl is just prepared. Jessica Andrade realizes that she's going to have to fight everybody, and she's confident in herself so much so that she's like, forget it. This prospect's coming in. I'll take her out too. It doesn't matter. I'm going to eat all these prospects up. That's the way she's looking at everything. And that was 4 weeks ago. I can only imagine how excited she is right now to get back in, make more money, and try to defeat a prospect, putting herself and cementing herself further as like, hey, I am the person that should be fighting for this title. I proved it again, fighting on 3 weeks notice, taking out one of your top prospects. I am that person. I am her. That is what she's trying to prove here. So what's going to happen on Saturday night? I'm going to make sure you guys know. So tune in on Friday for that write-up. But let's get into your next fight breakdown. All right, so let's get into your co-main event. A weird co-main event, but let's get into your co-main event for February 18th, Vegas 69. We have Zach Pauga versus Jordan Wright. Yes, I said that right. Zach Pauga versus Jordan Wright. Guys, let's look at the Jordan Wright side first. I thought Jordan Wright was cut. I mean, the guy's 12-4. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's getting knocked out by people at 185 pounds. But looking at Jordan Wright, he's an accurate striker, and the guy has power. I know a lot of people are writing him off for this fight. Look at the odds makers. They've written him off on this fight as well. But looking at Jordan Wright, he's coming up from middleweight. He's fought at light heavyweight before, and I think he's had success. But he's getting knocked out by middleweights left and right. The guy came in as the Beverly Hills Ninja. He's a weird guy. Like, you talk to him, he's like weirdly calm in some spots and then weirdly excitable in other spots. He loves the whole martial arts way and striking, but he's trying to find himself now that he's been knocked out a few times. And I think you sort of see that here when now he's moving up to light heavyweight. He's fought at light heavyweight before, and he's fought at a catchweight before. He's been finished at a catchweight. You have to wonder why Jordan Wright's doing this. Now, Jordan Wright's doing this because, hey, I'm searching for answers. If I move up, will I have a better gas tank? Will I have a better chin? I think I have that ability. So I'm going to move up. But the gas, we knew the power was there at 185 pounds to knock people out that are pretty durable. We knew that the accuracy was there on the Jordan Wright side. Looking at the Zach Pauga side, Zach's only 5-1. He's coming in here from Tough. He was a Tough finalist. He was a favorite on that, but he went into Tough as the heavyweight guy, right? He went in because he wanted to get into the UFC. So he's like, I'll fight at heavyweight. He's really a light heavyweight. Looking at his record, though, he doesn't necessarily get a lot of KOs. But even in that last fight and in that finalist fight for Tough, you saw that he was fast. You saw that he was powerful. You saw that he was beating his opponent to the punch. But in the end, he ends up getting knocked out. It's heavyweight. Things happen. In this fight, people are expecting him to have the power and speed advantage. He's going to be coming down back to his regular weight class, light heavyweight. People are like looking at this fight and expecting Zach to get a knockout. I think the value's on the Jordan Wright side. I know it's crazy. A Jordan Wright, betting on Jordan Wright. Why? Why would you, right? The guy goes out there, looks great, bounces around, has all the appropriate strikes, is super accurate, and hits with power. He can knock anyone out. He can win this fight by knockout, and he's a huge underdog. He's coming out here with nothing to lose. He's like, this is... in his mind, he knows like his back's up against the ropes. It's time to either put up, shut up, figure out this move, make sure that the gas tank's on point. So Jordan Wright's coming in here with the best motivation, but is he coming in here with the best mindset? He's coming off of 3 losses. He's looking for answers. That's not necessarily a fighter that you want to put confidence in. That's not a fighter that you want to bet. But as of right now, looking at this fight, Zach just got brutally knocked out. Zach just got brutally knocked out in the heavyweight division. Granted, again, heavyweight division. He's usually fairly durable, and everyone is on his side. I'm seeing everyone's on Zach's side. Like, hey, this guy's going to knock out Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright's got no chin. Jordan Wright's got no gas tank. Jordan Wright's the kind of fighter who's got beautiful striking and decides, I'm going to go out there and grapple and get submitted. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have the best fight IQ. He's a fighter that he comes up with a game plan early, and then he sticks to that game plan. For some odd reason, he can't break out of it. If the game plan is to strike, and he's sitting there striking and getting hurt, you'll see him still stand up too late. And then he'll go for the takedown too late, and he'll be all over the place, flailing around, looking for a takedown, showing the judges that he's hurt. These other fighters you see that are experienced, they know, oh, shoot, I just got hurt, and it's time to take him down. They know how to do it in a smooth way. He doesn't. But again, he's the guy who's got some power to him. He's got knockouts. He has experience. He has motivation coming in. I right now see Jordan Wright as value side. So on Friday, I'm going to let you guys know exactly what I think, because I think I'll know more about where Jordan's mindset's at. And if he's extraordinarily nervous and thinking, okay, I might get knocked out, I could get knocked out, then we know he may not be coming in with the right mindset. And we know probably to stay away from Jordan Wright and really stay away from the fight, because can Zach knock him out? I don't know. Maybe when he's gassed, but what if Jordan touches Zach before? Like, who knows what's going to happen, right? Jordan does have power. To just sit there and say Jordan Wright has no chin. He does leave his chin out there. To say that Jordan Wright doesn't have a way of winning this fight, I think it's stupidity. I think it's naivety. I think it's naive to sit there and say Jordan Wright has no path of victory here. So as of right now, again, value side Jordan Wright, but I will let you guys know on Friday. Let's get into your next fight. All right, guys, let's get into your next fight for UFC Vegas 69, going down February 18th in Vegas. We have a heavyweight slobber knocker. We have Josh Parisian versus Jamal Pogues. Let's look at the Jamal Pogues side first. Jamal Pogues is 9-3. He's a young guy making his UFC debut. He's fought on the Contender Series a couple times. He's a former light heavyweight that is sort of working within this body at heavyweight, knowing that the UFC needs heavyweights. Guys, the UFC, when I was a sports agent, was hitting me up constantly with like, hey, do you have heavyweights? I would get texts from Sean Shelby and even Joe Silva back in the day being like, hey, you got any heavyweights? You got any body heavyweights that I could look at, that anybody who's moving up? That's something that the UFC constantly needs, is heavyweights. And we sort of see that transpire here. Jamal Pogues is coming in here 9-3, but when you watch him fight, he doesn't look the most experienced. He looks fast. He looks like he has the necessary skills to level up and maybe become a middling heavyweight, if not potentially a great heavyweight. It's up to him, and it's up to his ability to take damage. Like, we don't know all those things yet, but we do know that he has an overall pretty good MMA game. He has good boxing. He's athletic, so that boxing comes off extraordinarily fast. He will hit you 1, 2, 3, pop with the fourth hit, and then he'll circle out before a big heavyweight will come over with the top with a big hit. He's seeing a lot of those things. He's fighting. He knows that he could fight at light heavyweight, but he wants to fight at heavyweight. He's trying to put on the weight properly and trying to navigate his body in the cage with the gas and everything. He has a pretty good gas tank. Again, we're looking at athleticism and speed. We're looking at a guy who's showing levels up, that he's leveling up because of his age. He's growing into MMA and into that body at Syndicate MMA. They're trying to show him how to use his body the best way forward. But he's a guy who's just coming up. He's not necessarily polished. He's not necessarily the biggest finisher ever, right? He's there. He's fast. He's athletic. He's the side that looks like they're going to win, right? Let's look at Josh Parisian, though. Josh Parisian's a dog. He's 15-5, right? The guy is tough. Now, the moniker toughness doesn't necessarily bode well for anyone. Usually when they're like, man, that guy's tough. How do you know that guy's tough? Because he took a lot of punishment and was able to fight through it. That punishment, that adds up over time. The more hits you take, the less hits you can take later on. And Josh Parisian is there to be hit. He can be hit. Again, tough guy. He's going to have weight on his side. He's the natural heavyweight coming here. He usually cuts a little bit of weight as well. But he's a guy who's been motivated by his losses, and he's been on this win-loss thing, and he's just coming off of a win. So a lot of people are like, hey, trends? Josh Parisian's probably not going to win this fight. But looking at Josh Parisian, he has a path of victory. He's a big guy fighting at heavyweight. He's fighting, yes, a younger, more athletic, faster guy. What does he have to do? Close the distance right away. He can't try to strike with this guy. Every 3 strikes that come his way, that may be his chance to hit one. What are judges going to sit there and say when you're sitting there and you have 5 strikes at the end of a round, and the guy next to you who's also a heavyweight coming down from light heavyweight fast, he has 35, 40. What's going to happen? Who do you think is going to win? Whether or not you were advancing forward, whether or not you were leaning on him, whether or not you had that cage control, people are going to see that pop, pop, pop. They're going to see your head snap back. That's not good. That's not good for the judges. That's when we see these decisions where you're like, oh yeah, Josh Parisian won. He was the one moving forward. Yeah, he got hit a lot, but he also got his licks in there. He has takedown. He has control time. And then you go to the decision and it's unanimous the other way. And you're like, what? 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 That happens, right? Judges do some judgy things, crazy things. This is one of those fights where, look, knowing Josh Parisian, he's changed his mentality, his mindset, or so he says. This week, we're going to find out. We're going to find out if Josh Parisian is super nervous for this and whether or not he's just taking this as like, hey, This is my UFC journey. I'm a middling, voice crack. I'm a middling heavyweight. This is my UFC journey. It's up to me to put out these guys, to lean on them. It's up to Josh to prove that he's the vet coming in and he has the right game plan to lean on Pogues all night, to make it hard for him. He's going to look gassed. Josh Parisian is going to, in the second round, he's going to be huffing. He's going to be puffing. But he's also this kind of guy that just has this fortitude to just move forward. He has the testicular fortitude to just like, he doesn't care if he's getting hit. I'm just going to go forward and just block everything with my face. That's what he does. In the end, that's why Pogues is favored here. You're looking at Pogues, you're like, Pogues, he has the speed edge. But if you ever seen Pogues fight, he does get sloppy sometimes. All heavyweights sort of get sloppy. He's growing into this body. We don't necessarily know what he's going to bring. He's a decision guy. He's not necessarily a knockout guy. So if you're looking at the Pogues side and you really like him, maybe you look at Pogues by decision, or you try to look at the overs in this fight, because Josh Parisian is a tough guy. Pogues is going to put the jab and cross in his face quickly. Josh can normally take shots like this, especially from, you're looking at a light heavyweight coming up. It's going to be an accumulation of volume, I believe, that gets Josh Parisian out, if he goes out. If not, I see this going to decision. I see it being a very close fight, especially if Josh Parisian can get his grappling going and can get his cage control going, where he puts you up against a cage and just hits body. It's these sloppy hits, but he's being active and he's just leaning and putting all that weight on you where you're like, it's hard to breathe. That's going to be his game plan. That's always his game plan. His game plan is to take advantage of his toughness now. I know he says other things. He's like, verbally, he's working on moving his head. It's a big head to move. He doesn't necessarily move it the best. You may see him do little feints every once in a while, but when punches are coming, he's like this. It's out there, right? Man, in the end, I think Josh Parisian has a chance to make this close. I think the value is on Josh Parisian. And guys, this is where we usually make our money. I know you guys are like, hey, this card is garbage. This card had a bunch of fights taken out of it. A bunch of great fights. Fights that could have probably main evented this whole entire card over the main event that's currently on. They had a bunch of fights that just fell out. It happens, right? But this is where we take advantage. When the books are wrong, when they have someone favored who shouldn't be favored, these are normally the cards where we hit crazy underdogs, and then we hit the slight favorites that end up dominating. They end up looking like minus 300s when they're only like minus 110 on the money line. So this is where we make our money, guys. It's time to boot up, put into work, make money. I'm going to find out this week if Josh Parisian's mental has caught up with the motivation that he has to continue to be great, or continue to at least take out some of these heavyweights that are here. Take out some of these people that he should be able to beat, these newcomers coming up. Josh Parisian, it's time for him to show out. And we're going to find out this week if that's what he's about. If he's about that business, if he's about that life, we may end up seeing a bet on Josh Parisian, because Pogues, while he's talented, young, fast, all those different things, he's going to be coming in here with a little bit less good experience. You know, he's got a lot of regional experience. He has a good record overall, but in the end, Josh Parisian's been fighting UFC. I can't really say UFC level, but been fighting under the bright lights in the UFC, fighting guys that maybe he should have beaten, winning to guys he should have beaten, losing to guys he probably should have beaten as well. But is Pogues going to be one of these guys? I'm going to let you guys know on Friday if Josh Parisian is going to be mentally into this fight, because I think that is very important. I think that at the end of the day dictates how we end up betting this fight. But we'll see. It's going to be a Salaba Naka. But let's get into your next fight. All right, so let's get into your last fight on the main card. We're looking at, again, UFC Vegas 69, February 18th. The last fight on the main card currently is William Knight versus Marcin Prachnio. Let's look at William Knight first. William Knight is 11-4. He's 3-3 in the UFC. Guys, in his last fight, he wasn't ready. I don't think William Knight's been ready for his last few fights. I think he tried to come up to heavyweight, try to take a few fights when he wasn't ready, and it showed. I mean, he didn't necessarily perform well in his last two fights he's lost. And last time, he got knocked out by Devin Clark. That is shocking when a fighter like Devin Clark, who doesn't get a lot of knockouts, who's known for taking people down, knocks you out. That's an issue. Now, Devin Clark can hit hard, and Devin Clark did hit hard there, but you just saw William Knight's just not at heavyweight. He has bombs, but his gas tank isn't there. He lowers his hands, and you saw a lot of flaws from William Knight. William Knight in this fight, The guy's coming back here with some motivation. He's going to be fighting at 205. He cuts a lot of weight. The guy is extraordinarily muscled up. We're talking about power for days. The guy, he hits you with like his knuckles. He will knock you out. Like he hits you with the craziest shot like this. He'll hit you like coming in like this and just stinky leg you, right? He's done it in the past. He has power. He has value here. Looking at this fight, they're probably going to make it an even money fight, and it's probably going to teeter back and forth. But let's look at Marcin Prachnio, because Marcin Prachnio is a weird fighter to bet on. He's not only a weird fighter to bet on, but he has these crazy fights where he could be knocking the dude out, just rocking him, go in there with his chin down and just get flatlined. He doesn't necessarily have the best chin. He doesn't have the best fight IQ. He comes out here and he's just a tough guy. He's been learning how to keep his hands up. He's trying to learn how to mix in takedowns when he gets hurt. But he swings from the hip and he has a karate background. But again, he has power, but does he have a chin? I don't think so, guys. I think a lot of people aren't giving Marcin his proper due because of his past shenanigans, but let's clean the slate completely with Marcin. Let's look at Marcin just as a fighter who's been progressing in the UFC. And in looking at that, the guy beat Khalil Roundtree. That's pretty good, but looking at that fight and knowing that fight really well, Khalil Roundtree was not ready for that fight. He came in, he was gassing, and he did hit Marcin and rock him, but Marcin can hit hard. He hits from baseball bats from just swinging them, right? Marcin hits pretty hard. So giving him a clean slate in this fight, he's going to come out here with a karate style. He's going to want to stay at distance. He's going to want to come in and land on William Knight early. And hope that he can tie William Knight up when he starts getting going. But in the end, guys, I see the value here on William Knight. I know people have been writing William Knight off. I know people have been seeing him fight at heavyweight. He even missed weight at light heavyweight before. The guy wasn't prepared to fight those fights. He's coming in here with a new motivation. He's like, he thinks his job's on the line, right? So he's coming in here prepared and ready to go. And Marcin Prachnio is a perfect opponent if you want to go out there and land a KO, a guy who's been KO'd before, a guy who doesn't necessarily have the best fight IQ. William Knight could take advantage, and I think he kind of does here. As of right now, I like the William Knight side. I'm going to have to figure out and get into his mental a little bit to see if William Knight's actually prepared for this fight as I think he has. Everything that I've seen currently on William Knight, he's prepping like he used to. He's not necessarily killing himself in the gym, but he's prepping like he used to when he was known as the power guy, the striker, the guy who can actually go 3 rounds with all that muscle, or can go later on with all that muscle. Maybe not into the 3rd round so much so, but isn't a guy who can only get it done in the first 2 minutes, right? He's a guy that can get it done well into the 2nd. He can get it done into the 3rd. He will be huffing and puffing because he does hold a lot of muscle. Those muscles need to be oxygenated, right? He's going to be huffing and puffing, but he holds power, and Marcin has been rocked before. The only thing about this is like Marcin also has power. I've seen Marcin just rock dudes, and he hits from the hip, and sometimes he just swings so big that if he can catch you, it's over. Can he catch William Knight? He's going to be the bigger guy, the longer guy. He knows he has to stay to the outside. You're going to see him hopping around to the outside. William Knight's going to have to close that gap and get in danger to land. I think William Knight ends up doing it. Again, you guys are going to have to tune in on Friday to find out if William Knight's mental is there, or maybe Marcin Prachnio is just like, has the game plan. If I find out Marcin Prachnio is just the side and it's crazy that his game plan is just amazing and William Knight is coming here with a bad mental, you will see a bet on Marcin Prachnio. But as of right now, I think the value is on William Knight. I like William Knight. I think he has power. I think he comes out here and in a show me spot and proves to the UFC. Like I still have it mentally. I know I was talking about being a bodybuilder. No, I know I was talking about being a double an athlete in multiple sports, but it's time to this is his job. It's time to get down and do his job well, and I think he does it here on Saturday night, February 18th. So it's gonna be a great fight. Now, guys, if you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit your post notifications and comment down below UFC Vegas 69, or just comment down below 69. It's a beautiful number. We might as well just comment 69, right? Comment down below 69 because February 18th, Saturday, it's going to be a great day to win, baby. Let's get it.